Yeah.
Okay, we are live. Hello, happy sloppy Sunday to everybody tuning in and wanting to check out the show tonight. Tonight is it's a grindcore extravaganza Flex-A-Thon of showing off a bunch of grind, talking about grind, things that we love about grind, and so yeah. Anyone who's sitting in the chat watching, why don't you just say hi? And so tonight we have Logan, grind and high life degenerate, which he is absolutely, and then Brain Smaster. Yeah. All right. So
thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah. All right. We have in the chat the Metal Vault.
Peter, what are you doing, man?
Hello. Thanks for tuning in.
I almost suggested having what's his name? Mendicant Media. He's a real grindhead, but he's down in Australia.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I have a little bit of a segment I'm going to do about Australian grind.
Yeah, I got a couple picks too. We got a lot of great picks out tonight.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're going to talk about some record labels, talk about some musicians. It's all grind. Anything and everything grind. But first, how about why don't we just chat for a little bit? Brian, what's been going on with you and your channel and your metal collection?
You mean me, Ben?
Yeah, Ben. Sorry. Yeah. Well, I mean, it does say Brian in your thing right there.
Dyslexia pops up.
What I've been doing, I just been kind of like on some thrashy death metal kind of stuff, digging around in some old early death metal demo kind of stuff. Everybody's kind of freaking out about year-end lists and stuff, and I don't care. I don't see the point in me saying my favorites were the same as somebody else's favorites, so let them have it. Not that anyone's opinions are wrong. I just don't see the point in throwing my name in the ring when it's the same opinion as most other people's. But people are sleeping on that new Pentagram Chile. It is phenomenal.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't listened to them in ages. I didn't know that they were even still around.
It's their second full length in like 40 years or something.
Yeah.
And their first full length was like 2013 or something.
All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know. Year-end lists. I'm horrible about listening to stuff when it first comes out. I have a couple new-ish things to show tonight, but yeah, I'm not good at year-end lists. But yeah, anyways, Logan, what's been going on with you?
I guess I have been one of the ones who's been freaking out and worried about year-end lists and stuff. So that's mainly been what I've been spinning the past couple weeks. But this stream was honestly a nice chance and a nice break to just listen to grind for a couple days. And man, one of the best things about grindcore as a subgenre, you're like only need 15 minutes at a time to listen to an album. It's superb. You can just squeeze it in. You know, I got 20 minutes before I have to go to dinner. Boom, grindcore album. 20-minute commute, grindcore album. So I was able to listen to like most of the stuff about the show tonight in the span of like 4 or 5 days, which is great in comparison to other, stream preparation that I've done. So
yeah, stream preparation
is homework.
It is, and this is why I'm a horrible YouTuber, because I don't really do any prep work, really. I mean, yesterday I dug through all of my CDs and I pulled CDs, but now like I had some macaroni and cheese for dinner, and then I was quickly pulling out vinyl to go with the CDs, and I'm like, oh my god, we're going live in like 5 minutes here. Yeah, so I need to be more disciplined about prep work, because it's really easy to push it off to the last minute. And my cat just woke up from a nap, and he is going to be all over the place. So, just an FYI.
We're good with it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We'll do all right.
But anyways, so everything that I just said right there is what I've promised myself I'm going to stop saying in streams. The yeah, like I say that way too much. But anyways, tonight, so I was thinking, because Ben and I, we've been talking for a little bit for a while about doing a grind stream, talking about some extreme grind, and I've been pretty busy traveling a bit for the past couple weeks, so I was happy to get a show going again tonight, and we figured, what the hell, let's talk about grindcore and kind of like my metal journey is I've always thought of myself as a grinder first. It's always been my go-to genre of music that, it's what I've always loved in metal. I've gone through phases in black metal and doom and everything like that, but I always go back to grindcore. And there's just a thing about the noise and the intensity of it that just really I guess appeals to I guess the ADHD part of my brain.
Isn't that all of it?
Yeah, and other things too. But
Same.
but yeah, it's a complicated genre, I think, because grind is a genre of metal that it can be more hardcore, it can be more black metal, it can be more death metal, it can be crusty, and it can be super technical or super sloppy. It can be gore, it can be noise, like.
Do you want to take a moment to differentiate between grind and grindcore?
Ooh. Well,
2 minutes.
That's a tough one.
Well, how about, okay, Ben, your take on the difference between grind and grindcore?
I think the core from grindcore comes from hardcore, and I think core, the suffix, it attaches itself to a lot of different things. But when you differentiate grindcore from grind, I do think there's more like breakdowns in grindcore from the hardcore genre, whereas grind to me is like relentless, just face melting, endless blast beats, maybe some like slow parts that wouldn't be like hardcore breakdown kind of stuff, but like very little variation, all about intensity, never stopping for anything. Whereas the grindcore, I'm pretty bad about like using the terminology separately. I pretty much would say most of this stuff could be either grindcore or grind, maybe 80% of it. It's super splitting hairs, but I think it's funny because most people just think of it as grindcore. And I think it's fun to like, explain those differences, the little nuances.
Yeah, it's for me, I always listen to the blast beats first, and something with if there are hardcore breakdowns, or if maybe it's something more technical, something like that. I kind of have always felt like the whole core part of grindcore is just a carryover from the old days when grindcore was just one genre of music, and it's sort of, maybe in a way it's dated, the core part of grindcore, but yeah, I don't know, Logan, what are your thoughts on
I've always used them interchangeably. Like, I've never been able to like draw the line of, oh, this is grindcore, this is grind. I always just thought, if you only want to use one syllable, grind. If you got time, like 2 grindcore songs, then you can say grindcore. But I never necessarily try to draw that line. I definitely have picks that are more, there's a lot more core influence, but I almost consider them like this weird cross between like metalcore, mathcore, and grind, for like something entirely separate from grind and grindcore. But I am probably wrong in just how I've use the terminology.
Yeah.
The genres.
It's especially kind of when you get into stuff more like death grind and power violence. A lot of people confuse power violence with grind. Right. A lot of people do, especially young people. They don't know the difference. And
they suck.
So
grind violence.
Grind. Well, and then and then there's also emo violence and stuff like that. But grind has always been a genre of music as diverse as the style is. It's never been the flavor of the month. You know, like it's never been like, you know, they're not making Hollywood productions about grindcore. You know, they've no. You know, or anything like that. It's always maintained a level of obscurity from trends and from mass appeal.
Yeah, you're never gonna have a band hit the same level of success that like Blood Incantation just got, and you know,
right?
Even like that death metal is currently kind of getting.
Yeah. So that's we have some other people in the chat here. We have Wilson is here. David LaDuke. I like his attitude. Young people can't fucking go. Exactly. Nothing frustrates me more than when young people get into my music and pollute.
Fucking go.
Yeah, young people. And then we have Strange Radios. Good to see you here. And
Jeremy.
Okay, cool, awesome.
I think I streamed this to my channel too, so you might see some of my people in there.
Okay, nice.
Should we be doing that if we can? I mean, does it matter?
If you want, I don't know if I could set it up now though.
I think I just click this button that says "stream this to your audience," and then it goes.
That's what I did.
I'm gonna see what happens. I'm just gonna click it.
Okay.
Blow it up.
Let's blow it up.
All right, cool. And what's Wilson? And don't forget the Slave to the Grind documentary.
That is one of the best documentaries, which
I have right here.
There you go.
I was actually this is a really good documentary. Goes into a lot of obscure bands. Like the dude really knows grind. Like he's not just talking the big names like Pig Destroyer and stuff like that. It's definitely knew what he was talking about. I contributed to the Kickstarter when this was in production. So watched it a few times. I think it's on YouTube now. You could probably see it for free.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then let me see here. While we're at it, I'm going to show a couple tapes that I have right here. And let me bring myself up right here. Oh, yeah, let me get you guys. There we are. So
hey,
that way you're in the picture.
I like the inclusion.
So now shows, VHS tapes. This one, let me see here. So this one right here, this is Napalm Death, SOB, and Agathocles. I never really knew how to pronounce that. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me. Live in Belgium in 1989. So this is Dorian era Napalm Death, SOB. I have that really early Napalm Death SOB split 7-inch.
I honestly didn't realize that Agathocles was that old, or that they dated all the way back to the 80s.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, talk about one band that's never changed their style at all.
It has released like 30, 50 albums, or just splits and everything. They're prolific as hell.
Oh yeah, and it's all 7 inches. Yeah, they're a band where I'm content just buying like a compilation CD, not the hundreds of 7 inches that they have out. So yeah, this is one tape that I've had sitting around for ages, and then now check out this one. This is sick. It's Fear of God, Ass Suck.
Damn.
And I don't want anyone in the chat correcting me and saying it's Ass Sook. It's Ass Suck. All right. Discordance Axis and Plutocracy. Fear of God in 87, Ass Suck in 1990, Discordance Axis, a radio broadcast. I want to know what radio station that is that does a live in studio of Discordance Axis. And then Plutocracy in Berkeley, 1992. So seems like, with YouTube, the days of VHS tapes have gone by the wayside, really, because everything's messed up.
DVDs.
Yeah, but so I figured I would start by just showing a couple of tapes that I had sitting around. But anyways, hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to.
Also, remember Eric's Grind Crusher comp didn't really feature much grind at all. Maybe Terrorizer.
Yeah.
Who else was on that? There was Godflesh and Carcass and
Morbid Angel.
Yeah. I have one of the Grind Crusher comps. I mean, Earache though, it's still a lot of early grind came out from them. So that's what I have to show first. How about Ben? You're up. What do you have?
I don't have any videos at all, really. They're all kind of put away. I've just got CDs and an LP, a couple 7 inches. Just random pull. Or you want to get into it?
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
So I didn't rank anything. I will say, this is one of my favorites or whatever. But yeah, let's just go with some random pulls. And another thing, we discussed this backstage, but if one of us shows something that the other was going to show, we're all just going to show it at once and get it out of the way, these guys recorded a couple full lengths, but I don't really like them as much as this split with Disgorge. This is Squash Bowels.
Ooh. Yeah.
One of my favorite grindcore band names. Not much of a cover to look at, but grind your fucking head. This is the Mexi Gorge, of course. But when I think grind, this is pretty much like what I'm thinking of, just endless blast beats, really stupid, not very musical. It's kind of all about like knuckle-headed kind of violent grinding. There's just a certain quality about the kind of music that feels like pushing hamburger into a grate or something. It's just, that's what it feels like when you hear this kind of stuff. This stuff is really fast, short songs, super blasty. They do a AC cover, which is kind of like the rockinest tune on here, really. I wouldn't think that AC was a band worth covering, but they do what is it? I can't remember. Radio Hit, which was probably the best song on Everyone Should Be Killed.
That was the Morbid Florist. Radio Hit was also on the corporate Death, that classic Relapse comp. I'm pretty sure Radio Hit was on that one too. That's a good AC song. Absolutely.
Did anybody else have that pulled too?
Nope.
No. I was gonna pull I have a Squash Bowels out there somewhere, but I didn't get around to it. So.
They never really got around to doing a full length until like 2010 or something like that. And by that time, everything just kind of sounded a little too clicky and digital. A lot of these bands, I feel like my favorite stuff from them was the splits and EPs and demos and stuff. If a grindcore band was able to pull out a full length, usually by that time, they kind of like lost some of their luster. I don't really love I like the first couple of Napalm Deaths, but I don't really reach for them when I want to listen to grind, even though they're super instrumental. Even like Carcass, when I want to listen to Carcass, I listen to Carcass, but I don't think, ooh, what's a good grind band to listen to? Carcass? I just don't really make that connection,
Agreed on that one. I don't have any Carcass pulled for that reason. Just
right, yeah. I don't either. I don't have any Napalm Death. There's a
Yep.
couple things that I've just kind of like obviously omitted because I want to talk about a little bit more underground pulls. Nothing to slag on any of the big names or anything. I don't usually listen to Napalm Death all that much.
You know, over the years, I've always said this, that my favorite era of Napalm Death was early Barney stuff. Utopia Banished, Harmony Corruption, all that. But over the years, I've really gotten more into Fear, Emptiness, Despair, and Diatribes, like the mid to late '90s stuff that put out. That was a lot more groove.
Fear Emptiness is awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's an excellent album. All right. Cool. Logan, what about you?
All right. For my first pull, I was kind of trying to go a little more chronologically. Like, this is where I started because it kind of helps shape, how you get into a genre, what band you first start with. For me, grind is not like the first go-to genre. It probably is one of my most listened to genres of music just because of how easy it is to listen to and how much variety there is. But I got into grind probably a couple years after getting into more extreme like death metal and definitely sludge and doom. And the first band that really helped me to do it, and this is going to be one of the bigger bands I'll talk about, Big Destroyer. And now your stream is demonetized or whatever. Sorry.
Are those boobs?
These are boobs on YouTube. Yeah, and then we got the full. But this is the first grindcore album I purchased, and don't know why specifically. I think it was because Metal Sucks used to talk about this band all the time, and we can hate on that website as much as we want, but they did turn me on to Pig Destroyer, and this is probably one of my favorite Pig Destroyer albums.
Would have gotten into them anyways.
Yeah. Maybe not as quickly. I don't know. Like this was around the time that Book Burner came out, and they were really jocking this band for sure. So, but no, Terrifier, man, is a classic, in my opinion. Some of the best riffs. So, would this be on the grindcore side of things? Because it does slow it down sometimes and really, like these really crushing hardcore style riffs, and they do it even more so on like the later albums.
Yeah. Pig Destroyer, their really early stuff was straight up grind, like Explosions in Ward 6 or whatever, and the early stuff was straight up grind. Yeah. I think of Pig Destroyer as imagine something like the Jesus Lizard, but played really fast with blast beats in it. Like it's they're not grind core anymore, but
no, they're
more like death. I don't know. I haven't once I heard Prowler in the Yard, I was like, this band is dead to me. So
you didn't like Prowler in the Yard?
No, it's just like Slayer riffs with blast beats over it. I thought it was pretty formulaic. But I do have another pick.
That's my favorite. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I don't have any Pig Destroyer to show tonight, but I'm surprised
to do a plug. We did a Pig Destroyer ranking on the Metal and Beer Snob channel. For anyone interested, go check it out. It's up.
Hell yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I have something Scott Hull related, but not Pig Destroyer to show. So we'll get to that a little bit later. Okay. My turn. I'm up. So what I'm going to show here is a band that is part of the Napalm Death family tree, and that is Defecation. Defecation was there's an interesting story with Defecation because there are two official albums. There's this one, Purity Delusion, which is with Mick and Mitch Harris from Napalm Death, and then there is Intention Surpassed, which is just Mitch Harris, and these albums, they're both like really stripped down, really grindy, something that you would expect from that era. Good stuff, definitely. And then there's also a mysterious, fraudulent third album. This one that supposedly isn't Defecation. It's someone who like stole the logo and put out an album under the same name. And I listened to it again, and it's actually not bad. It's definitely just a drum machine, but with live guitars. It's one of those things that if you like some bad electronic stuff sometimes, then you might want to listen. It's a very bizarre story. I mean, like, we've come across bands where there's a band that has the same name as another band and it's a coincidence, but no, this is like someone who supposedly stole the logo. And
like, are they still trying to play similar music? Like, is it still grindcore?
It's like bad drum machine grind, like low talent drum machine grind.
Can't have too much of that, really.
But no, the Defecation stuff is really solid. I really like that. And I think it was Mitch Harris also did vocals on both of those too. So, all right, Ben.
All right. I'm sure one of you, at least, or maybe both, would have this. This is. I was gonna pull Red Jackson just because that's a great discography and it's awesome. You can fit all of the Hemdale material on one disc. But this is the split with Exhumed, and that is because it has Delicious Gory Fun on it, which is maybe my top grind song ever made. If sometimes I just need to rock that song and turn it up to 100 in my car and just almost swerve into other cars all the time. Hey, what up, Eric? Oh yeah, Naked Whipper, that'd be a good pull. So yes, I've never really gotten into Exhumed, so I can't really speak to that side of things, but Hemdale are one of the gods, maybe top 5 grind bands of all time for me. So I'll pick up the Rad Jackson discography. I think Hell's Headbangers just did a reissue of a couple of their splits or something like that. Mm-hmm. But my grind phase was like 20 years ago, and I kind of like burned through it in 2 years or so. I had a little tiny stupid grind label of my own, and that got old really quick. That's the thing. Like, you can have your whole metal smorgasbord, listen to metal all the time, but grindcore is just a tiny little dessert or an aperitif to visit every once in a while. And when I meet someone who's like, I listen to grind 96% of the time, I'm like, you're crazy, you're insane, you're nuts, and I don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
Some people like that. That's
I picked up the Hell's reissue of that Hemdale Exhumed split, and that is really good stuff. Really good.
Yeah,
I really like that one.
I don't really know. I really don't know Hemdale.
Ooh, yeah,
so
there's also a Destruction cover on the discography. There's a couple of other covers on it too. Excellent. Curse the Gods by Hemdale. Holy shit, one of the best covers of all time. What was I saying? Exhumed to me are a death metal band. Every time I've heard them,
I didn't pull Exhumed because of that reason. Like, I thought about it for a second, but
I think they've always like flirted with the same like gory themes that grind does, but musically, I'm not hearing an overabundance of blast beats, and I'm gonna say leave the grind hall if that's what you're bringing.
I would agree. Like, if we were to divvy up their sound in like a percent, like 55-60% death metal, maybe 40% grind. So yeah, they were out of the pool for me.
Moisturizer. I think I've actually heard of that band, Moisturizer. I don't know. It sounds familiar. But yeah, What do we have here? Yeah, Wilson, Defecations, Purity, Delusion. Delusion is so good. Yeah, I also have I have that on vinyl as well. I just couldn't find it. Okay, cool. Awesome. Logan.
Sweet. Another big early band for me. That really showed, grind is still coming out with like, new bands in the 2010s era. Wormrot. So this was one of the first grindcore albums I ever purchased. Dirge. This is their second one, and this is just such a fun album. Like a lot of vocals that go every which way. Like you got the hardcore shots, you got like the very low, you got the very high, and then it also can fit in some like melody here and there, and some slower riffs too that really help to make it. I was able to pick up their debut, Abuse, on LP too. This is fucking awesome. And since then, they've really taken a shot at incorporating some more like Discordance Axis, just like odd, off the wall melodies and songwriting tendencies in their sound, which it's cool. Like I like it, but I think I prefer the rotting faces on their album covers. Truthfully. So. Wormrot, I think definitely a big band for grindcore of the last decade and a half, 2 decades. Like they've definitely done a lot, I think, for the sound and for getting new fans into this crazy
Keeping it going,
demented subgenre. Exactly, and they're back now. I don't know if they're going to release anything. Fingers crossed. I'll take it, but yeah.
Is it Wormed or Wormrot? I get them confused. It did an album like last year with the lady's face like underwater or something.
Wormrot did, yeah. That was maybe 2 years ago. And then they had like a weird, they broke up or something, and then they're back together. I don't know, some kind of drama. Yeah, that was 2022. It was called Hiss.
Jeez, that was a while ago.
Yeah,
yeah. They were good at that Discordance Axis type of style,
which they weren't
grind.
They weren't like that on this one. Like this is just some straight up nasty. Like I would say grind without the core, just very like straightforward. 25, 26 songs in 18 minutes. Gotta love it.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm going to show a couple things that are early relapse. Ooh. And early relapse I feel is important for grind. I mean, definitely it's for that time, and I'm going to get on my soapbox for a moment here. But for that time when you were just limited to mail order and to a brick and mortar store, I had been ordering from Relapse ever since they were, their office has moved a few times, but there were some things when I got back in the day when I was like, and I still have these where I was just like, holy shit, I'd never heard anything like that. So one of the things is Flesh Parade, the Kill Whitey comp. This is probably the first. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Oh, the 7-inch.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Logan, this is some Louisiana.
No, dude, it is. And there's so we do a festival here called Mardi Grind, and they're the headliners this year. So I'm going to be able to see them.
Nice. They're playing MDF too, I think.
Yeah. Yes. I think it's it's their comeback, if you will. So.
They've been coming back for years.
Oh, they have. All right.
Yeah, I saw them play MDF. I think sometime like in 2009 or something. I remember
spinning that though. Yeah.
Sorry. I remember the vocalist. He liked his alcohol and was hanging all over people and just having a great time. So I think he was just there more to party than to actually play a show. But I'm sorry. What
I
were you
get
gonna
like
say?
self-conscious about how red my nose is because zits, but I think people think I'm as much of a drunk as he is because of my red nose. You can like that dude's got a glowing fucking nose from Miller Lite.
Yeah, yeah, but when I got this, this style of screamy grind, uh, this is one of the first bands that really introduced me to like screamy grind, and then for another one, if we want to go back to early relapse, is Gore Beyond Necropsy.
Yes, almost pulled that.
Yeah, so this CD, this is 59 songs, and I have a few other like Gore Beyond Necropsy, like 7 inches, and a couple other CDs and stuff. But this is the one, and then this Haunted Hotel records, they just put this out on vinyl. This is for the first time, like just like a year or two ago. Like it finally just got the vinyl treatment. But this one, when I got this, I was like, "Good God, what am I listening to?" And it's like Blur, noise, gore grind, and the songs are 4 seconds long. Stuff like that. All 59 songs were probably just all recorded in a single take, but still, this is when Relapse used to put stuff like this out. So there's that one. Ooh, this is a classic that I'm going to show now from the early days of Relapse, and this is Be Numb, Soul of the Martyr. This is another just like classic early Relapse grindcore album. Really good stuff, and kind of more of a like a live studio type of production. It's a pretty raw but well recorded album. So I really like that. I like that a lot. But this is classic, classic early Relapse.
I've never really gotten into them. I got the Pig Destroyer split or something early on. I don't know, something about it. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. This is Robotic Empire put this out. This is the CD, but the 7-inch, I think maybe Relapse put the 7-inch out. I can't really remember, but yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, Be Numb. I'm not going to say that they were. Oh, I also have like a 5-inch that they something. Which that reminds me. Fuck, I'm not going to find that.
You still got time to pull stuff.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. Okay, so now one more thing that I'm going to show that is early Relapse is, let me see here. No, you know what? I think I'll wait.
Yeah.
We don't need to jump into it too much. Logan must be using the potty.
What did I miss? I was trying to be discreet about it, but
nice work.
I'm busted now. What did I miss?
Some early Relapse, Gore Beyond Necropsy.
I saw that.
Be Numb, Soul of the Martyr.
Yep.
Then what was what was
Numb?
Yeah, Be Numb.
You showed the Flesh Parade, which I said
Oh yeah,
that's good stuff. What about their? Did you guys hear their album after that? The one with like the lady on the cover and stuff.
Yeah,
is that any good?
I have that CD. I haven't listened to it in for ages. I remembered it being a big step away from.
It's weird looking. Dirty Sweet. Dirty Sweet is what it's called.
Yeah, I have that somewhere. I'll need to go back and listen to it. It's been a really long time since I've heard it, but I remembered it being like a lot different from the Kill Whitey CD.
Yeah.
So,
I see. I thought you were talking about Be Numb. Yeah, Be Numb. I checked in on them and it was a little sludgy or something. And I'm really picky about sludge and hardcore and punk. I didn't get into metal from hardcore punk like most people do. So that stuff I've gotten into it more in the last couple of years than ever before. So back then when I was looking for grinding, it was not face melting blast beats. I was just like, fuck this crap.
Well, you know,
the hardcore element in it.
So sometimes there are some bands that have just never clicked with me. Like this is going back to early Relapse, and that's Nasum. And Nasum have never really clicked with me, kind of just like how Rotten Sound have never really clicked with me.
Wait, Rotten Sound has never clicked with you? That's Nasum I actually get. I only have one Nasum, but Rotten Sound is like I have them pulled.
I love the drumming. Rotten Sound's drummer, the dude is like a machine. But there's something about the production, like it's maybe just more death grind. Something about it just doesn't really click with me. Like some of it too is the vocals, where the vocals are just too like
they're kind of throaty.
They're pretty deathy, like
yeah, kind of throaty. But
I think I'm able to accept any kind of vocal style in grindcore. I don't know if I've heard clean vocals, but I'm open to it.
I've vocals that I really like the most are really shrill, high-pitched screaming vocals.
Yeah.
Especially if the screaming is sort of monotone. If because I've heard bands do corny shit that sounds really bad. Like where a vocalist is screaming but trying to harmonize too, where it's like, what the hell are you doing?
Like some Travis Ryan kind of shit.
Yeah, that or when or if they have like two vocalists and they're doing bad, no, this and that, once in a while I'm like, and that's one thing going back to sort of John Chang and his style of vocals is he's really good at that high-pitched screaming. I mean, as he's gotten older, he doesn't scream like he used to, but that high-pitched screaming, but also sort of like monotone where it can fall flat, but it sounds good if that makes any sense at all. I have an example of what I'm talking about though that we'll get to in a bit, but okay, right on. So Logan, did you show anything, or are you? I forget. No, you were taking a potty break.
I think Ben's up, right?
No, Ben.
Yeah, I miss your pick, Ben.
Let's go.
No, Ben's ready. Get Ben in there.
I'm just gonna slide right off of the Flesh Parade into Mule Skinner. Abuse. So this features Todd Capitan of Flesh Parade on drums. A lot of people somehow missed this one, but it rules almost as much as Kill Whitey. I would say it's like Kill Whitey without the insane vocals of Flesh Parade, but man, this thing rips and blasts like you wouldn't believe.
Mule Skinner, that's a new one for me.
What label is that on?
Sludge. I don't really know the label. It's a French label.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, but yeah, real perfect companion to Flesh Parade. Real good. I want to say there's other issues of this with that as the cover, I believe, unless maybe they just have other stuff. But Mule Skinner has also been active for a real long time, 87 to present, and they have two full lengths, 96, which is that one, and Airstrike from 2018. This is the only one I've heard.
Okay.
But one of my favorite things about Flesh is the drummer. That guy blasts real solid.
Yeah, definitely. Good pull. All right, Logan.
All right, so I wanted to show a classic real quick to get out of the way. This is one of those that I
heard chat saying review Repentless by Slayer. How about fuck off? Sorry, go ahead.
Quick review. It sucks. All right. Boom. Got to talk about World Downfall real quick. We already mentioned like Napalm Death and other bands that were kind of classics that were not pulling, but Carcass, that was it. But I will say, I think Terrorizer really did a lot for bridging that gap between like just an interesting hardcore kind of speed and pacing with death metal. And this album is great. Probably some of the best riffs on here. Fear of Napalm, Storm of Stress. Really catchy songs too. Corporation Poland. Love that track. Yeah, this is a great flawless album. Probably one of my favorite. It would be in the top 5 if I were to like rank just grindcore. It would be in my top 5. So gotta mention World Downfall. And
I didn't even mention that or pick that because that's like the king of them all, the fucking best one. You've got your top 5 list of grindcore albums. This is above that, way above all of them.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm gonna go and slide in another one real quick. Repulsion Horrified. I mean, Flint, Michigan represent. What better way than with a melting face? 1989, just nasty stuff. And yeah, one of those bands where they're like kind of doing their own thing back. Like it almost sounds like a more primitive version of what death metal was, and because of I think how primitive it was, it does sound fairly grindy. So wanted to mention them real quick also. Just
also in an echelon above our picks.
Yes, we'll put them up there, and then we'll talk down here for the rest of the stream.
Those are like the Futurama Frozen Head presidents of grindcore.
Yeah, you walk in the museum and this head talking to you, and
right.
David Vincent back in 1988.
You can usually tell a good grind album because it will have a rotting head on the cover of some sort.
Yeah. So far, I think the majority of my album covers have had rotting heads on them. So, yep. We're doing pretty good.
So here's that other Flesh Parade.
That's it. What kind of album cover is this here?
It's stripper core, I guess.
Is she bending in a weird way that's like kind of fucked up? Is that what the grindcore element is?
What are some of these song titles here?
Nah, we don't need to go over that.
Yeah, good idea.
We got an hour left.
So, all right, yeah, we won't
grind stream. We're quick.
Yeah, we're going.
But okay. So, what I'm going to show is since you pulled Terrorizer, I'm going to show something that is Terrorizer Warship. And this is off of Mortville Noise, and it's Corpse Eater. This album is really good. It's total Terrorizer Warship. Really awesome stuff. I'm pretty sure it's a drum machine, but like the guy uses a drum machine really well. Really good stuff. Total Terrorizer Warship type of stuff. And so I have that one. And then here's another classic, Excruciating Terror, Divided We Fall. This is more of like the hardcore type of stuff, but yeah, this is a classic, man. Excruciating Terror. And then I'm also going to show off, these are by a band called Drogheda.
Oh, yeah.
And ugly vocals. I mean, just like ugly vocals. We're in the liner notes for one of these too. I mean, it's blasty noise grind. In the liner notes for what is it? This one, because Ben, you were saying that Andy from Mortville.
Yeah,
there's actually like a thank you in right here to, right here where they're thanking Deeds of Flesh, Andy and Captain Three Leg from Mortville, and a few other bands too. So, but yeah, Drogheda, this is just filthy stuff.
I have a demo compilation of theirs. I haven't pulled that out in forever.
Yeah. You know, some of these bands too, it sucks that they disappeared, because when I pulled these out and I was listening to them again, I was like, God, this is good stuff. But then, you know, the band just disappears. The guys probably got jobs or something, you know, and you know, I guess like this style of music maybe sometimes doesn't warrant a reunion or anything like that, because
Yeah.
it would end up being probably a financial loss on their end. But yeah, that was really good stuff. And then also one other one that I'm going to show. This is a band from New York who I really liked a lot. Defeatist. Um, this is really okay. So right here in the chat, they're saying Drug Hita, old pen pals. And then what is it? Drock Ida. Okay. All right. So Defeatist is they're from New York. I saw them play, but the vocals are just awful. Like the awful in like that good way. It reminds me of if you get up in the middle of the night and you step on Legos in bare feet, like you know, like that type of like you know, type of vocal sound. But then you're like bouncing around on one foot, stepping on the Legos, and then you get on the other one and there are more Legos. You know, it's really ugly stuff. But yeah. All right, Ben.
I'm gonna pull this one because I think maybe you'll also have it, but I put this on last night. This wasn't on my list until last night. I was like thumbing through my CDs and going, "Oh, whoa, this might actually fit." Put it on and it totally fits. Although I think they do kind of a lot of other styles. So let me know if you think does Immortal Fate's Beautiful belong in the grindcore list here?
Yeah,
it's
never heard that band.
Oppressingly heavy when it's grind. It's relentless blast beats. I think the drummer on this played in Plutocracy, so a little bit of legitimacy there. Yeah. But they do some sludgy stuff, and they also played in a lot of other kind of Bay Area sludge bands. Aren't there some members from Nooth Crush too?
I think so.
I don't know. Kids who like cut their teeth in sludge bands and hardcore bands, and I think wanted to do like a death metal album. So it kind of is death metal-y, but they brought the furious intensity and relentless blast beat to it. And it's really unique. It's got kind of a crappy guitar tone to it, but I think it works really, really, really well.
What name are we talking there again? Immortal Faith is what you said?
Yeah, Immortal Fate.
Oh, Fate. All right.
And this reissue came out on 625. No, originally came out on 625, but this reissue from Nuclear Ass has the Faceless Burial EP from 92. Essential stuff. Not 100% grindcore, but when it is grind, it does it.
Yeah, well, you know, I pulled a couple that I'm going to show tonight that are not grind, but have grind elements, you know, or you know, something like that too. It's yeah, but yeah, good pull. I was just listening to Nooth Crush last night. I picked up a 10-inch. That was a live set that they did in like 1996 or something like that. But all right, cool. Nice one. All right, Logan.
All right. So when you were talking about your old school Relapse, you know, and I know someone in the chat mentioned this, I was just waiting for you to mention this band, and you didn't. But it's okay. I got you. Brutal Truth. Got to talk about Brutal Truth real quick. Need to Control. What a weird fucking album. When you want a grind album that is trying not to be grind, this is the release. Yeah. It's bizarre. It opens up with like a fucking doom metal song. Like it's slow and like sludgy and yeah. but still all Brutal Truth. And what an interesting band across the board. I definitely have enjoyed, these guys' discography when I can find it and pick it up. They've got a couple killer albums. Their debut is great. Sounds of the Animal Kingdom's awesome, and is it Kill Trend Suicide, an EP they released in the late '90s, is also perfect. So
that's the only thing I have from them. I need to get more.
Yeah, this is highly recommended for me. This is the first one I was able to find from them, and definitely it's a weird grindcore album because it's 40 minutes. You're used to the 20-minute, the 15-minute long releases, but this is 40 minutes, and we got like songs that are well within the 5 or 6 minute mark. They make it worth the while though. So definitely,
Kevin Sharp was a great vocalist.
Yeah, he had a lot of range, a lot of different, styles.
Venomous Concept kind of rules.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
I have a Venomous Concept album. Good stuff.
It's one of those kind of geriatric grinder albums that you think would suck, but they actually kind of slap.
Yeah, because I think Shane Embury is in
and King Zone.
Okay, yeah.
Which I'm not even a big Melvins fan, but I'm not sure if Bozo plays on all their stuff, but pretty consistent. Another kind of geriatric-ish band that you would think would suck, but are kind of spotty. I love Lockup. I didn't pull it,
dude.
But Pleasure's Paved Sewer is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Live album is really good.
Yep.
Nick Barker knows how to grind on the drums.
Nick Barker makes that album for sure. Hate Breeds Suffering, their second album. That's my favorite one. That's got At the Gates vocalist Anders, I think, on vocals.
Yeah.
The first one, which is the one I have, is Takrin, your favorite producer.
My buddy.
Your buddy, Peter Takrin, on vocals.
Yeah.
All right.
I would agree though. Good call.
Yeah, Brutal Truth. Good pull. I one thing that I never completely could wrap my head around was the stoner grind thing, because my pothead days are way in the past. But when I went through that phase, luckily I grew out of that phase a long time ago. But when I was in that phase, I was listening to a lot of stuff like Electric Wizard and, like really kind of doomy type of stuff and droney. I grind and blast beats, and then being high,
yeah.
Never made much sense to me, but hey, who knows? Okay, cool. Since you, I'll show something that is Brutal Truth adjacent, and that is Total Fucking Destruction.
Oh my god! Yeah.
And I saw them play Maryland Death Fest sometime 2010 or something like that, and so it's Richard Hoke, the drummer from Brutal Truth. This is his band where he's the drummer and lead vocalist, which is fucking sick because the dude's a sick drummer first of all, but watching him also do vocals at the same time is insane. I mean, he's seriously, if you go on YouTube, look for a video of Total Fucking Destruction playing live and watch him doing vocals while drumming. And it is just the craziest thing that you'll see. It's totally awesome stuff.
That's something I've never been able to do at all. Once you start singing, your arms just go totally stupid. I don't get it.
It's the drummer / lead vocalist. It's definitely a talent. It's a talent. Okay, so all right, so now I have a couple here that I'm going to show that aren't grindcore, but have grind elements to them. And the first one is Old Lady Drivers. This one. This album kicks ass. I mean, this is kind of more of a strapping young lad type of but the vocals in this one would just fit perfectly in for a grind album because they're just so screamy and angry and hateful vocals. But yeah, this is a really good one. So there's that. And then here's another one, Disassociate. Disassociate, pretty sure they were from New York. Kind of more hardcore, but a lot of blast beats, but then also kind of just a lot of weird electronics too. From what I remember, I think the vocalist from Disassociate also had like a noise project. I can't really remember what they were called, but yeah, they fit into that category of there are grind elements in their music, but they're not really grind. And then another one is a band called As the Sun Sets, which blast beady, screamy, chaotic. Then they would go on to form the band Daughters.
Yeah.
So this gives you a glimpse of what Daughters would have become, but more grindy and screamy.
Wild shit. That kind of gets more into like the screamo-ish kind of stuff, but it's really intense and good.
Yeah, definitely.
Or like
what album was that, Chris?
Kind of
I'm sorry, I was stuck in the chat. What album was that? Because I recognize the cover.
As the Sun Sets, it's
As the
called
Sun
77, I think is the name of the album. Some of that Rhode Island grind. All right. Then okay. So there's that. You know what? I really doing these like deep dives, or these streams where you need to go in and pull stuff out of your collection. It's such a nightmare because my collection, I can never organize anything because now I just have like a maze. Like I have stacks of CDs and records all over the place that I need to like kind of walk around. And then tomorrow morning I'll get up at 5 a.m. and I'll stumble around and I need to step over stacks of CDs, but it's such a pain in the ass. Well, why couldn't I just grow up to become like some dude who just goes to the gym and plays basketball, or
Golf, maybe? Could you golf, you think?
or golf? Yeah. Why do I need to be so complicated? Anyways, okay.
That brings us to my next pick, Avril Lavigne.
Yeah. Okay. So talking about stuff that's grind but more screamo, Bucket Full of Teeth.
Yeah.
This is two of the members of the screamo band Orchid, who I just saw a couple weeks ago play here at the Metro Theater. But Bucket Full of Teeth was two of the dudes from that band Orchid. And this was more screamy, grindy stuff that kind of more is like an As the Sun Sets type of vibe, the music, but really screamy at the same time too. But yeah, more like kind of like that style of grind. Which
Night,
by the
Peter.
way, I'm sorry.
So night, Peter.
Oh, all right. Sweet dreams, Peter. Thank you for don't let the bed bugs bite. All right, cool. Yeah, so that's what I have. All right, Ben, you're up.
All right. I'm surprised how we haven't doubled up quite yet, but I still have about a dozen picks or so. And then I have an honorable mentions of stuff that I don't have physicals of. However, I just showed it. This might be my top, excluding Terrorizer, etc. But 324s, customized circle, 7-inch, and CD EP. It's perfect. It definitely falls under the tree of Terrorizer. Do you have Son of Desecration? Yeah, that's pretty good. This one, I think after this, they got a little kind of sludgy and a little different. And for me, this, like, if if you say what's grindcore, I'm going to hand you this.
Yeah.
No question. It's got moshy, slow kind of parts without being cheesy, but it's the most intense thing you're ever going to hear. So they're a Japanese band, put out on HG Fact was John Chang's label, but this was on 625, who was related to Immortal Fate somehow. I'm not sure. I think they were like a Southern California label. But seriously, if you only take one thing away from this, from my picks anyways, this is going to be it. 324 customized circle perfection.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm definitely realizing there's a different era of grind. Like when were they putting out stuff? Was that like 2000s or late 90s?
So this is, I don't remember. I want to say this is kind of like 96 or something.
Okay.
Customized circle 98. So there's a demo version of it. 98. And the CD has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 more songs on it. I'm not sure what they're from, but this is about maybe 12, 13 minutes long. 7 inches, maybe like 10 minutes or
perfect.
so. But it's great. Production.
I'm gonna have to seek that one out.
Meaty.
I also have that split, that 3-way split, the 324 discordance axis, and then I think maybe gate. Corrupted, that's right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, good call with the 324. I didn't think about that one.
Really? That's the first thing I thought of.
Oh man.
Nice. Now,
all right.
For mine, I'm gonna take a page out of your book, Chris, and go with like is it grindcore? Is it a bit more hardcore? Maybe even like metalcore stuff. I don't know. I got 2 I want to show real quick, but "Burnt by the Sun" had to come up. This of course is Dave Whitty on drums. Don't know the other members, but like this is their debut EP right here. It's literally 9 minutes. I love it. It's 4 songs, 9 minutes long. It's so quick and easy to spin, and it's intense, but I wouldn't 100% call it grind. Like there's definitely enough hardcore in there to enough like even Dillinger Escape Plan kind of like turn of the century mathcore kind of sound to make it not be like if you were to ask me for like a grindcore album, I wouldn't pull this first, but if I knew you were maybe coming from like that hardcore scene originally, I would. And this is just fun, intense stuff, a bit goofy. I mean, we got songs like The Fish Under the Sea Dance, Lizard Skin Barbie, good stuff. And then I want to mention this band Ed Gang.
I have that one.
Yeah. So these guys are also on that. Like, is it grind? Is it a bit metalcore breakdowns in there? This is, I think, their second album. Judas Goats and Diesel Eaters came out on Black Market. Definitely recommend this if you're looking for something that does have breakdowns in it. There are legitimate breakdowns and legitimate like just stompy riffs. Like honestly, I feel like Nails might have actually ripped off a couple of the riffs that appear on this album. Like I definitely hear some Abandon All Life on this, but this came out back in like 2005. So they win there, and this is peak Bush era grindcore or whatever. Like there's samples of the then president being like, I'd be a dictator if I could, and fun shit like that. I think that was a fun era for grind. I was not listening to the music, when Bush was president, but I think he did influence the releases of the era a lot, and probably gave them a lot of tasty sound, bites to sample on a lot of different albums. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, the George W. Bush years inspired a lot of angry grind.
That's
I'm not about to start complaining.
Malia is saying that we need to make an intro to grindcore because I've never heard the genre. I've only heard of it because of you guys. Well, yeah, that's a good idea, but that requires effort and
how do you introduce someone to grindcore?
I did one like 5 years ago. There's a link down below in the comments.
Oh, really?
Look at that.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah, most of these are repeats from that video, but it's been 5 years or so. So why do it again? And I got a new one that I got in last weekend.
Ooh.
Nice. A new video on your channel?
No, a new LP that's one of my favorite grind releases of all time.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Logan, are you done, or do you have something else?
Do you want us to start pulling a couple, like just to get it,
Let's go. I mean, I have a ton of shit pulled, so I've been showing multiple things at the same time. But if you have something else you wanted to show,
I'll quickly show Circle of Dead Children.
Okay.
Psalm of the Grand Destroyer. This is another is it grind? Because there's a bit of death metal, also a bit of hardcore and stuff in here. It goes a lot of different ways, but the main thing it does, it's over the top for the sake of being over the top, and I feel like that is a grindcore or a grind element in of itself. So I just wanted to show these guys real quick, and they broke up. This was their last album back in 2010, I believe, on Willowtip, and they don't get mentioned anymore. So wanted to mention them real quick.
Yeah, they were cool. They're kind of along with Morser, were kind of grind adjacent, good stuff from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, the Morser stuff, like 2 hours to Doom. That's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. You showed me that one, Chris. That one is. That's a weird album, honestly, because it doesn't feel like it should. The song should be, a minute long, but they are. So.
All right, I'm going to show. This is a Florida theme, and I'm going to start off with something new. That is one of my favorite albums of 2024.
Pardon.
And this is Shitstorm. And this album, they're from Miami. And this album just rips. I mean, it's awesome. It's part of that whole Miami circle of Torch and Caveman Cult and the bands from that area. This is really fucking good stuff. I mean, really good grindcore. Definitely more of that Phobia type of sound. Really awesome stuff. I really like this one a lot. Highly recommend it. And
Magruder Grind Shitstorm Split. We'll quickly show. And then
yeah. And this next one, it's necessary to show it. That is Ass Suck. Of course. I mean, yes, Misery Index, classic.
I need to get Anti-Capital. I need to get all of it.
Yeah. Good luck finding them.
Yeah.
I know that there are some bootlegs floating around now. These are all OGs that I have. I mean, these two, I've had these since college. Absolutely just classic stuff. This is a unofficial or semi-official discography that Blast as Fuck put out maybe 10 years ago or so, and rumor has it that now this is a real press that I ordered from Blast as Fuck. I used to mail order my grindcore from Australia.
Me too. No Escape.
Okay, yeah, another one. And but Blast as Fuck, I ordered so much shit from him that they should have sent me a gift basket for the house. Something. So this is a semi-official discography of everything that Ass Suck recorded, but apparently Steve Heritage would not approve of it being released. So all of the copies were destroyed that weren't sold because it wasn't authorized to be released. I kind of like that Steve Heritage is like a curmudgeon about the ass suck stuff being released, because it keeps it from like getting into the hands of all the young people, and
I don't know
having like 27 different vinyl variants of it, and just becoming, like falling into that whole like gimmicky side of things. So it
you
helps.
don't want a splatter ass suck album?
No, I don't. No. And so it helps keep it all kind of like floating in obscurity in a way that he won't authorize the release of the licensing of the music to anyone. But yeah, ass suck, dude. This stuff is so classic. Oh my god, it's so classic. And especially too because Steve Heritage was also I think he was a recording engineer at Morris Sound Studios in Tampa.
Yep.
So that's how, like, especially with Misery effects, how you have that, like, 90s Morris Sound Studios type of sound, but on like just a blistering grind album. It was
Gotta pee for a minute.
okay. He needs to take a tinkle break. So yeah, that's classic stuff, of course. What else do I have?
You said from Florida too. You got any more Florida grind? You got some Florida Man? Is it? I feel like it's a grindcore band.
I just
heard of this other grindcore act called Death by Florida. So
Death by Florida.
Yeah.
Well, I did live in Florida for a little while because I went to school down there.
I forget that. Where you? Where were you? Were you in Miami? Or were you like in Jacksonville or some shit?
Orlando. And the being on the coast of Florida would be a lot better than being inland, where it's just humidity and gross bugs.
No
and
relief.
Yeah,
no
stuff
wind.
like that.
Yeah.
But so what do we have here? Okay, yeah, okay. So Prince Vince, Acme, Sistrel, Morser, Carol. I have all of that stuff, dude. Like
Oh my god, I only know the Morser. I don't know.
Yeah, Morser kind of lost their ways in like their later albums, but all of that Per Choral record stuff, all of that like chaotic German hardcore from the 90s. The Acme CD is classic. The Sistrel stuff was really good, and I mean those bands really were just a rotating cast of just all of the same dudes playing in all of the same bands.
I think that's the thing with my connection with grind. It's a very American connection. Like I haven't made the global scene yet. Like I don't know like the European stuff as much outside of like the big names.
There's a lot of stuff from Japan that I've always really loved a lot, and Australia. The Australian stuff is killer, and then Japan, of course, a lot of really good stuff always out of Japan, like Unholy Grave, yeah, Final Exit, yeah, I have a Final Exit 3-inch CD somewhere. I just didn't feel like digging it out tonight. Unholy Grave have been around forever.
Here, do you want me to go real quick while we're waiting for Ben?
Yeah. Well, what do you need to take a potty break too?
No, I got a pull. You want me to...
Oh yeah. Why don't you pull some?
We're showing albums, dude. Let me see. I want to talk about Fuck the Facts real quick. This is actually a pretty important grindcore band for me. This might have been the first grindcore band I saw live. Were these guys? I saw them in Raleigh back in when this came out, like 2014, 2013. So this is their album Desirable Rot. This is pretty forward-thinking grindcore stuff. Like there's definitely a lot of different elements, a lot of like death metal slowness, sludge metal riffs in here. Just love this album. Love this band, honestly. Seeing them live, and like it was a very like small dive bar no stage. You're literally just, you know, standing right in front of the singer, and she was pregnant at the time too. It's a girl singer. She was like, you know, at least 6 months pregnant, and was just killing it. So gotta mention Fuck the Facts real quick, and then I'll let Ben take over. I think he might be backstage if you don't see him there.
Okay, so here he is.
Boom.
All right, he's back. Okay, so High Defamation TV. None of that is grind except Morser. Yeah, the Percoro stuff. But it would fit into that. It, you know, like what has elements of grind, because at least the early Morser stuff was really blast beaty. I mean, especially 2 Hours to Doom was very blast beaty and very screamy. The later stuff was definitely just more hardcore. But yeah, it's I really liked the Sisteral stuff too. Not going to say that it was grind, but it was unique to that whole German hardcore sound. All right, Fuck the Facts is from Ottawa.
Yep.
Canada grind. So Insect Warfare, and if not, what are you going to do with your lives? Okay,
Chris, I was going to let you pull that one. I felt like
oh my god, yeah, I have Insect Warfare here to show. But well, you know, actually, what I will show is
Ben. What you got first, real quick, because then I skip Ben.
Oh, Ben, do you have something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like a dozen more picks.
Okay, cool. Okay, so then what I'll show is
Wait, Chris, let Ben show his thing.
Oh, okay, sorry.
If I gotta hop off at like 8:30, so another hour. If you guys want to kick it later, by all means.
Okay.
Let's I don't know, Logan, you probably have a different Rotten Sound pick, but let's gang up on Chris and get him into some Rotten Sound.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
So maybe you haven't heard Murderworks. This is the only one I fuck with from Rotten Sound. It's a little death grind, but the crunchiness on the guitar tone is excellent. It really represents like a future sort of era of grind, and I'm talking like post 98, somewhere around there kind of era. It's got a real kind of like cybery sort of style, and I think that's like Rotten Sound's whole thing. I mean, they started out kind of like typical, but they really got into this kind of thing, almost kind of like a Cadaver Inc. Ooh, that would have been like a great pull. But if this is the only Rotten Sound you hear, this is the one that should turn you into a fan, in my opinion. I've dabbled in a couple of the other ones, and I am just so much in love with this album that if it isn't this, I don't care for it.
It's funny, that's how I feel about this one. This is Exit. I think this one came out after Murderworks. Yeah. This came out in 2005, so maybe it's like 2 after.
And I think this was like 99, 2000.
Yeah. Definitely, or maybe this is 2002, but definitely I agree with the death grind, and that might be why you don't like it, Chris. It's not screamy. They definitely go with the lower register vocals and a lot of the guitar riffage sounds.
They incorporate a lot of groove in their style.
Yeah. See, so you got some. That's an EP right there.
I have this one. This is an EP of Napalm Death covers that they put out. And then I have the first 2 Rotten Sound albums. There was like a double CD edition that had the first 2 in a jewel case. So I do have that one, and it's good. I think maybe I just have never listened to them enough or given them enough of a chance.
Murderworks.
Yeah.
Exit. But yeah, Murderworks.
Okay. Cool.
It doesn't have that like relentless blast beat kind of thing that you would expect from grind, but to me it is more intense than just death metal.
Okay, right on. What I'm going to show here is this isn't grindcore, but it's more tech grind, and that is the first Origin album. I love this album.
That's an interesting pull. I would never have thought of them for.
I think of it as like tech grind. It's really good stuff. And then this one too that they put out, that especially this one where it's a coming into existence, which is their first EP, and then also a demo is on this one. Really screamy, a lot more kind of Discordance Axis type of sound. But yeah, this first Origin album, I love this one. This is so good. Some people might argue like that's not grindcore, and it's not grindcore, but it's death grind or like tech grind. It's definitely very technical, but really grindy at the same time too. Yeah, let's see here. What is it? I saw them at Jungle Rot and Deicide. Origin, yeah, Origin's really good live. I saw them. Nick Gear, happy birthday, Nick. Happy birthday.
What a great way to spend it, huh?
Yeah.
Your present, sir.
So yeah, Origin.
I saw them live Metal Fest 01 with Pig Destroyer and Nasm with Mayesco on vocals.
Oh wow,
that's cool.
Nice.
Relapse had like their own stage where only Relapse bands played, but for some reason all the bands decided just to play right on the floor. So you would walk into this like auditorium and it would just be like people, and you would have to like get through all the people to even see the band. It was weird. And seeing Nasm, and like there was like 30 people there.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild.
Dude.
What Metal Fest was this?
2001.
Oh, okay.
While like Opeth is playing in the other room, and In Flames in the other room, and Christian
and what was that, Maryland Death Fest or
no, Milwaukee?
Milwaukee.
Oh, Milwaukee. Okay, cool, nice. Yeah. So no. Okay, I do have Insect Warfare somewhere. If you understood the stack, the piles that I have, I'm like frantically digging through. Like, oh, where is it? It's over here. Bah. I have some Insect Warfare to show, definitely. But Logan, you're up.
All right. Let's see. I'll go real quick. Newer band. I'm wearing the shirt. I want to mention Full of Hell real quick. I am a big fan of these guys. I celebrate the whole catalog, if you will. This is their debut, Roots of Earth, Consuming Home. And I think on this one, they definitely start a little bit more of like that hardcore vibe, that hardcore kind of sound where it's...
I'm trying to figure this
thing out. Know, what the hell?
Forget it.
But from there, though, they really start to experiment and bring a lot of interesting elements into the sound. Like they really diversify. They've become one of my favorite bands to follow. They collaborate with other projects, which is always cool. Like I got their collaborative release with Primitive Man, Suffocating Hallucination.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is awesome. It's like a weird, like funeral doom, noise and grind in one like 30-minute release. I enjoy this thing. And then probably one of my favorite albums of this year, Coagulated Bliss. Love this album. They get a little bit more artsy on here. It's like they were definitely experimenting with a little bit more harsh noise elements on their last album or two. And this one they kind of open it up with like, I would say like noise rock or garage rock. There's a bit more of an interesting sound and stylistic choice here. Cool guest spots also from Ross Dolan of Immolation and Jacob Bannon from Converge on this thing. So wanted to highlight one of my favorite like modern grindcore bands that are pushing the sound.
Nice. And you know what? I have a follow-up to that one. And this is, I'm going to do a little bit of a spotlight here of bands from Japan. And that is Takafumi Matsubara, who I think is one of the sickest grind guitarists ever. And this is a solo album that he put out, oh, I don't know, like maybe 5 years ago or so. But the dude, Dylan from Full of Hell, he does vocals on a couple tracks on here. And then,
Nice.
yeah, because the album, it's called, I mean, I everything Takafumi Matsubara plays on is just absolutely like the chef's kiss. I mean, he is just such an insane guitarist, and it's sort of a story, like a backstory to this album too, because he was having problems like with, I guess, carpal tunnel syndrome or something, and he had to go through rehab because there was talk that he probably could never play guitar anymore. But he was able to rehabilitate himself and then record this album. There's some other dudes from like Unholy Grave on here, and some other bands. Brian Fajardo, the drummer from PLF, and all of that stuff. He also plays drums on a lot of the songs on here. Absolutely killer, screamy grindcore. So, and then what else do we have here? Okay. So now Gridlink. This is Gridlink. It's Takafumi on guitar. And then I think also Brian from PLF is also doing drums on here. This is just awesome stuff. I mean, just awesome, screamy grindcore.
John Chang, right?
Yeah, John Chang on vocals. Kind of picks up where Discordance Axis left off. And especially the first two on this LP, it's the first two Gridlink albums on it. And one thing that I really like about, like, because I also have the CD versions of these as well, is the second album. I like it where each song starts out with just the like on the drumsticks right before it takes off. And if your CD player has gapless playback, is when you really get to experience the joy of that, because it's like my CD player has gapless playback, so it just immediately goes right into the next song. You don't have that like 4-second buffer. So that's a really awesome stuff. And then some other stuff from Japan.
Now, so I remember hearing Hayano Daisuke.
Yeah,
that's something like that. And I didn't really care for it, and I assumed that the Gridlink stuff was kind of like also along that par. But everybody was freaking out about that album they did last year, and I don't know. I feel like I don't spend enough time with Discordance Axis, anyways.
I like that album from last year.
The
Did you pull a Discordance Access, Ben? I thought I saw.
Oh hell yeah!
I thought I saw. I thought I saw.
I have Discordance Access.
Okay, I'm jumping the gun. My bad.
We can get to that.
Yeah, you're pulling all these tangential side hustle kind of things, and we still got some bangers. Side chicks, I should say.
It's the transitions. We're like in a Family Guy transition.
Okay, yeah. So Mortalized is like the band that Takafumi Matsubara started in, which is probably the screamiest of like screamy bands from Japan. I have the Blast as Fuck discography CD over here somewhere. Just don't know where it's at right now. But I have most. Oh, here we go. Yeah, here's Mortalized. This is One of the it's a 3-inch CD. It's called Absolute Mortality, and so this is Bloodbath. Bloodbath put out a lot of like the really good stuff from Japan back in the day. So there's that one. This is the Blast as Fuck, the discography CD. It has like pretty much everything on it that they ever recorded. And then also Takafumi Matsubara related is a band called Formless Master. That's another band that he plays in, real screamy, blasty grindcore.
That thing is awesome.
Yeah, this is really
you
good.
You turned me on to that one, Chris. That is awesome. Like sound bites from all the classic
kung fu stuff.
Kung fu movies.
And then also another band that he's in is Retortion Terror. And again, screamy, blasty, technical, spazzy grindcore. This is the split they did with a band from Texas called Dagra, which is also really good stuff. But yeah, so yeah, Takafumi Matsubara, he is definitely like, when it comes to grindcore guitarist, the dude is just a machine. Okay, yeah, so yeah, nice one. Yep, Gridlink, just pulled Gridlink, and yeah, Mortalized, really good stuff. Okay, so I have some stuff from Spain and South America to show in a bit. So okay, cool. Yeah. Takafumi. Good stuff. All right, Ben.
All right. Here.
Are you on Discogs while we're
No, Ground Zero Salem just made a big nasty drop, and I'm putting shit in my cart and going crazy. Might as well. Joho is my favorite Discordance Axis.
Yeah.
Most people like the Inalienable Dreamless. I have it on LP too. Yeah. Something about this one though, like the way the riffing is juxtaposed with the blastiness. There's a lot of like dissonant kind of riffs going on that I really, really love. Like, I don't know, if only for the reason of Flow My Tears, the Policeman said, like, dude,
yeah.
It's explosive. Just hearing John Chang just do that without blowing a blood vessel in his head is insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how he does it. The DVD that they put out back then is Picadori, is really, really cool. But this is maybe just below 324 in customized circle in my pantheon of godly grind releases.
Yeah, this one has that song on it where before, when I was talking about the style of screaming that I really like a lot, there's a song on here called Come Together, Fall Apart, I think is the name of it. And there's this scream that he in the song where it's just long and drawn out screaming, like, how are you not coughing up blood, like with the scream, but it's that thing too where it's like the pitch of the scream is, it's just like, it's not some type of shit where he tries to harmonize with it or anything, it's just like, it's a good scream, but then there's also the crash of the cymbals behind the scream and everything that sounds really awesome. But okay, yeah, so this one I had to pull it. I know that anybody who has seen any grindcore streams that I've done in the past, I've spoken at length about how the Inalienable Dreamless is my favorite grind album. When I listen to this one, it's so seamless, and the whole album just feels like it's one song that that they recorded, and it's just so good, and also for that time too, the production is excellent, and the vocals are really good. Dave Whitty's drumming is sick. I have the DVD that you were talking about, and then I also have the book that was written about this album. Somehow, and I've also found some way to justify owning 17 different pressings of this too. So, so yeah, I'm not saying I'm a fanboy. I'm not like that, but this album, it's just absolutely perfect. Yeah. I will admit though, I was never a fan of the DVD case for the album. I wish it was just a standard jewel case. Yeah, exactly. So if I had one complaint about the Inalienable Dreamless, is that it was the DVD case for the CD.
Yeah. It just doesn't sit where I put all my albums. I got a thing over here of all my tall things, and do I ever go, what do I have in a DVD case that I'm in the mood for today? Like,
right.
You always forget about those.
There's this band called Utgite, and they're amazing, but they only do DVD case CDRs from
I hate that.
Actually, I do have a 12-inch clear LP, but he's one of those artists that puts out like 7 albums a year, so it's like, why to bother? Bandcamp to you.
Okay, so this is the book that was written about this album.
I did not know they had a book.
Yeah.
Compiling Autumn. Oh my god.
Apparently it's pretty difficult to find. So but it pretty much just is like a backstory to every song off of the album. And then going back to like right here, the jewel case or the DVD case, and then also they reissued it with a couple extra songs a few years ago, and so I have both of those. I absolutely love Discordance Axis. It's just great stuff. All right, cool. Ben, nice one. I like that. All right, cool. Logan.
All right. Let me see from there. Devin mentioned Spain, so I'm going to pull my one Spain band. Looking for an Answer.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know, and this is probably some of the craziest artwork I got. We got like Jesus with tits and the pussy for a bloated stomach, and I don't know. This is a crazy album. Eterno Treblinka, is what it's called. So they're definitely from Spain, and they're definitely vegan. Definitely vegan as fuck, and they stand behind it with every aspect of their artwork and their music. This is pretty blistering stuff. I would say it does borderline on that death metal delivery. So, definitely lower vocals that are more death oriented than screamy, and they do break into some great like death metal guitar riffs here and there. So I wanted to mention Looking for an Answer for sure, and I'm glad this is one of the bands Devin was thinking of when he brought up Spain. So
okay, nice one. Okay, cool.
Yep, Eric knows them too. Cheers.
Oh yeah. Looking for an Answer.
Great band.
It's good stuff. Okay, so Spain. Also, too, going right back to the Takafumi Matsubara, I forgot to show this one. This is Self-Made God put out this EP a couple years ago. It's I think what it is it's just unreleased mortalized songs that he recorded. And I also like one of the songs is called Fake and Poser Kill. He's so committed to the cause. He's writing songs about how he's like, no posers. But okay, so this is going back to Spain. This is a CD that I've had for ages, and I don't really know much that this band ever really went to go on to release much of anything else. And this is a split between two bands called Unsane Crisis and Hashash. Hashashin. I can't say it. It's like hash, but assassin. Put it that way.
Never mind.
The Unsane Crisis side of this is unapologetic discordance axis worship. They wear it on their sleeve, but it's even like screamier and blastier. Really good stuff. And this was put out Throne Records, which Throne nowadays they put out like a lot of like big name stuff, and this is one of the really early Throne releases. I probably got this I don't know, mid 2000s, maybe a little earlier than that, but yeah, the Unsane Crisis side of that is awesome. And then Spain, I don't know if these guys are Spain, South America somewhere. Rot, A Long Cold Stare. This is an awesome, noisy, nasty grind album too, with some really crazy sounding vocals too. It sounds like the microphone is in a pipe and he's screaming into the pipe or something. Like, it's really bizarre. Rot actually put out a new album a few years ago called Organic. That is very good. I think maybe Horror, Pain, Gore, Death might have put that one out, or Self-Made God, one of those two. But this one, A Long Cold Stare, really good stuff. All right. And
Yeah, Rot's from Brazil.
okay, yeah. Okay, cool. All right, Ben, you're up.
Oh yeah, I was backstage when I made a joke. Somebody mentioned Unholy Grave, and I said they have a split 7-inch you got to check out.
It's
It's
grind
really good.
humor. Ben, the grindcore comedian.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything's good. So Rot did a split with this band, and I love them wholeheartedly. Sublime Cadaveric Decomposition from France.
Mm-hmm.
Rules. They're kind of maybe borderline death metal because of the heft in their tone, I think. But oh boy, at least so this one is definitely more grindcore. It is called, I think it's self-titled. Bones Brigade. Yeah, put this one out. I'm gonna say 98, 99, somewhere around there. One of the sickest logos. Come on.
Yeah.
I love that logo so much. I actually wrote them the other day on Facebook and said, "Do you have a patch of your old logo?" And then they kind of had a little hiatus for a minute. They're a band that kind of like keeps resurfacing, and I'm like surprised that they're able to keep things afloat. But then they did this Inventory of Fixtures album that's got a lot more kind of like snot nose, punky kind of riff sort of stuff going on, and it is so fun. I think this is something that could really be at home on Relapse or something like that. But it's a lot more of a newer release. Bizarre Leprous did this one, which is a label that did a lot of great shit. I don't know. I'm gonna say maybe 2010, maybe 7, somewhere around there. This wound up being like, this was my favorite and one of my favorite grind bands. But when this one came out, it replaced it. It's super good, and it's really different from their earlier stuff. Oh yeah, Grindcore is pretty kind of fun too.
Grindcore.
Yeah, this thing, if you haven't heard it, rules. Lots of punky, snot nose kind of stuff without deviating too far from being an actual grind record. Slaps, spanks, dumps, smokes, all that shit.
I haven't heard of them, but I'll check that one out.
Really?
Yeah.
Top 10 grind bands for sure.
Yeah. Good to know. Good to know.
Could you put that one in the chat so I can spell it accurately and
Oh yeah.
appreciate it?
Well, it's Sublime. I don't practice Santeria.
Oh, is that the band? Okay. I know them.
Cadaveric. Decomposition.
Oh, okay, I got it. That
The
helped a lot.
logo is like the logo has like a big intestine just like hanging from the letters. It's
Oh.
so good.
I wasn't able to see the album artwork that well, but I'm looking at the self-titled one now, and it's yeah, that's a good grindcore album cover.
And the self-titled one shared a drummer with Antaeus, which is a great French black metal band.
Nice.
Blast
them
is
other. I'll add that to the list.
Have you not heard Antaeus?
Nope.
Whoa.
Nope. I know.
Careful.
Know. What am I doing?
Very evil. Very satanic and evil.
Oh God, no. I don't know if I can. How do you spell Antaeus real quick?
Antaeus.
Okay, sweet.
Cut your flesh and worship Satan. That's the one.
All right. Got it. Okay. So I'm assuming I'm going up real quick. I'm gonna mention this is a band I discovered within the last year or so, but I pretty underrated, and I think maybe why is because of their name, and the album artwork just does not do the music justice. This is Off-Grund with The Age of Dumb is the name of this album, and look at that album artwork. It's a dude shoving his head up his own ass while he's like bench pressing or like squatting.
Dude, that's
religion,
awesome.
Christianity and money. Like it fits when you listen to the album, but you're not gonna buy this thing on that alone. Like I thought this was honestly like a new metal album cover, or like something that I would not necessarily enjoy.
Yeah, I know. If that was a country album, I would still take it home because of the cover and be happy about it.
Well, I bought it because I listened to it first, and the music backs it up. It's 26 minutes of like more of that like death metal grindcore stuff. Harsher, like deeper, throatier vocals, very anthemic parts though that are like definitely anti-capitalist in nature. Great band. This would probably be one of my biggest recommendations of the evening is check out Off-Grund, The Age of Dumb. Once again, the album title's cool too, I guess.
I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah, check that out. I will mention it. The most ungrind and uncapitalist thing most capitalist thing I did was I bought this off of Amazon for $5. So, oh well.
Yeah.
Get it where you can. Good music is good music.
All right, cool. I'm going to here's something that I meant to show earlier that I didn't. I forgot about it. And this is when we were talking about Napalm Death. This is Extreme Noise Terror Damage 381. This is the album where Barney did vocals on this one. I was just listening to this again yesterday, getting ready for this. This album's fucking rips. This is really good. Yeah. This is a really good album. And I mean, I've always liked Extreme Noise Terror, but this one just absolutely kills. So forgot to show that one. Okay, so here's talking about bands from Australia. My cat is The Kill. I absolutely love The Kill. So good. Yes. Yeah.
This is all I have from them, but Make 'Em Suffer is a ripper.
Oh yeah, I have that one. I have most everything that they put out. dude, it's so good. It's some of the best, just single pedal blast beat screamy grindcore. Um, and then the dude from the Kill, I think it was the guitarist, ran blast as fuck.
Yeah.
I mail ordered so much shit from Australia back back then. But
Me
yeah,
too.
this stuff killer. And actually this album I think was produced by Scott Hall when he started to get into producing. Really good stuff. Just so
It
fast.
seems crazy to remember a time when ordering from New Escape made sense because the dollar versus the Australian dollar was opposite where it is now.
Yeah.
And like I would spend like $25 and get like 3 or 4 discs from that label and distro, and it was cheaper than getting it from anywhere in the States.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you get them shipped without the jewel cases, you know, and I ordered plenty of stuff from Australia back then, but the Kill, and then like the CDs. Unfortunately, I only ever got to see the Kill play one time. They played Maryland Death Fest, I think in like 2008. This was a three-way split that they did with Noisier and Anti-Gamma, which is really good stuff. This was like a radio session that they recorded, and a few other odds and ends, but yeah, Kill fucking awesome. One of my favorite grind bands. Definitely. Okay. Calling, I wasn't calling Extreme Noise Terror grind. I was showing it because Barney did vocals on that album. But this one is grindy at times. It is grind at times. It's not a grind album, but it's grindy. Berserker. The Berserker, was that the Berserker that like electronic?
That's the Australian, like almost industrial berserker, I think.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
there was a style of electronic music from Australia called gabber that was like really, really fast techno. And Bloody Fist Records was one of those labels that put out like groups like Nas and Bluten were big in like the lo-fi electronic noise gabber that was coming out of Australia at the time. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something about Australia and that hole in the ozone layer or something, but just so much good shit comes out of Australia. The bugs. I don't know, the bugs there.
It's mainly who I hear talk about the Berserker. That's funny. Yeah.
All right, Ben.
Staying in Australia, Captain Cleanoff.
Oh yeah.
Also a No Escape rocker. This was a self-titled EP. Rules. I think what felt made me fall in love was the samples from American Movie on this thing, which is one of the greatest films ever made. But yeah, it has kind of like a tongue-in-cheek sort of funny, dumb quality to it. It's kind of almost like cartoonish grind, but it's relentless, silly grind. But then they did an album a couple of years ago. It's escaping me right now. Also, I've had a couple of tinnies. Let me look it up. I'm on the archives. Symphonies of Slackness. That's their only full length. And it rips. They're great. Great band. On the Carcass tip, a good entry point for a lot of these bands is I wish I had it in my hands, but there's a tribute to Carcass called Requiems of Revulsion, and it has most of these bands, not most of them, but like Rotten Sound, Pig Destroyer, etc., doing Carcass covers. and it's really, really, really good. It came out in like 2000 or so.
Is that on Dwell?
What's that?
Is that on Dwell Records or the?
No, it's on Death Vomit, which is like a post Necropolis label that also did the Rotten Sound Murder Works CD.
I have
That sounds fun.
I have a
Cool.
Pig Destroyer. I have a Pig Destroyer 7-inch. That's of them covering Carcass songs, like Genital Grinder and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it was.
So they reissued this with a bunch of extras
That's
called 38 Counts of Battery.
Yep.
And I think that's on there too.
Yep, it is.
And yeah,
That's-
this is the only Pig Destroyer you need. Big words.
Man,
Well, I do love Terrifier, but yeah,
strong
Explosions in Ward 6 is pretty awesome. It is definitely.
I mean, they switched drummers up, and I think their style just kind of went away with this guy.
See, so that makes sense that you don't like, or Prowler on the Yard is a step off, because that drummer was a big like piece of that album, the new one. Where
Prowler
slowed it down.
Prowler, there was always something about, I don't know, the production, like the mix, like the drums just sounded ridiculous in Prowler, where it just sounded too much like the kick drums were just right there in front of everything. I don't know if they were trying to show off their new drummer or something, but I just, that mix, always annoyed me. I thought Terrifier was a much better sounding album. But yeah, you know, going back to like Pig Destroyer, probably one of just an absolutely awesome 7-inch that they did was they did a split 7-inch with Orchid. I can't remember what label that was off of. That was
Reptile.
Killer. What's that?
Was it Reptile? Maybe I have a Pig Destroyer 7-inch on Reptile or something.
Maybe might have been, but yeah, both bands, like the shit that they put out on that 7-inch was just awesome. Really cool stuff. All right, cool. Logan, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna show two new ones real quick. So, as I mentioned earlier, there's a grind festival that a dude puts on here called Mardi Grind, right around the Mardi Gras season, like the weekend before, I believe, Fat Tuesday. And I went to the one last year. It was phenomenal. I saw some bands that I would not have otherwise heard of. Noisy Neighbors was one of them. They're a new band kind of coming out, which I'd highly recommend. This is definitely a more straightforward, like grindcore approach. Or I would, I'd say grindcore if we're differentiating. This is Derailing the Hype Train debut album. These guys are fun. They don't take anything too seriously. They're kind of stupid intentionally. Live, the stage banter is top notch. And just on record, these guys are fun. This is fun grindcore. This is not like political. This is not anything like that. This is the stupid for the sake of being stupid. I mean, it's called Noisy Neighbors, for crying out loud. So recommend this one. And then back in like the more gory and just nasty and like pitch shifted vocals and intense drumming for the sake of intense drumming, this is Sulfuric Cartery with Suffocating Feats of Dehumanization. Yeah, this shit is fucking nasty.
I think I had their split with Human Effluence.
Yeah, yep. This is the debut album, came out last year as well, I believe. Great, just insane band. And when you see them live, it's just two people and guitarist and the drummer, and you only hear the drummer. And honestly, that's how it is on the album too. It's just literally the drummer blast beats the whole fucking time. The guy's just, it's insane. And I would definitely recommend this. Huh?
Sometimes I'm fine with that, just like an overarching wall of guitar noise and then just blast beats and skanks.
Yeah.
That is this. And this is why I like grindcore. you can enjoy it and have fun with it. You know why? Because it's fucking 15 minutes. I mean, like, it's a good segue of like almost turning the brain off and just being fine, basking in the noise elements of extreme metal. So Sophia Cottery does that for me, and this album definitely does.
Okay, nice. Okay, so I'm gonna show off going back to bands from Japan. This is one band that's always been awesome. They never really put much out, but there's Gate. Gate is fucking awesome. I think that they were only a 2-piece. I can't remember, but again, this was another Bloodbath release right there. So much stuff out of Japan was out on Bloodbath. But yeah, it's Gate was just a 2-piece band. Like grind is like the one genre where they can just be like, fuck it, we don't need a bassist. Fuck that guy, we don't need him. It's just two dudes can load their shit into a car and just go and just play a show, Yeah. But also this kind of reminds me, and this is something that I've been thinking about, is Noisy Neighbors. I like their Instagram stuff. They definitely have a good sense of humor. They don't take themselves too serious. The term D-beat, okay, like D-beat. When I don't remember hearing the term D-beat until maybe like the mid 2000s or so. I know that there's a lot of stuff. Everything is labeled. Yeah, this is D-beat, grind, punk. That's D-beat, something like this, that. But the term D-beat. When was that created, and a term that was applied to music? I don't really remember it until probably about the mid 2000s being like a term. I don't know, Ben. Do you have any idea?
I mean, I would say I didn't hear about it until the mid 2000s when I discovered Skit System, but as my understanding, D-beat goes back to like 84,
back to
early
Discharge, right?
grind crust kind of stuff.
That style, but the actual term D-beat, I don't remember hearing or reading D-beat being used in anywhere until probably the mid 2000s. I think that's why it's kind of like a little weird of coining a term nowadays, but then retroactively applying it to music of the past.
Well, it's from a genre that I was never really into until maybe recently. So like I wouldn't know when that term was coined because I wasn't into even metal until like 95, 96. So if you were into like Bolt Thrower's first album when it first came out, I'm sure you would know what D-beat was all about back then.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe D-beat didn't like make its way into metal until that era for us.
Yeah, it's just something where you see the term D-beat here and there and all that, but just thinking about like when I remember actually reading and something being coined as D-beat, I didn't remember that until probably like mid 2000s ish or so. But also too, kind of punk like that just wasn't really like my main thing. So maybe it was just something that just flew past me.
What are you gonna do?
Oh,
can't be everywhere.
Yep, exactly. Okay. So whose turn is it? Is it my turn or? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So here's one, and this might be a controversial take. I'm going to show a couple because we're kind of running short on time. Oh yeah, going back to one band that I absolutely loved, Mashitazo. Absolutely, I love these guys. I got to see them play once before, and a two-piece band, and then also Dopey doing drums and vocals, which was pretty sick. So yeah, Masha Tazo. I have most all of their stuff, but this was like the last album that they put out, and I think it was probably their most solid album. Really good stuff. And then Dopey now is in the has his band called Leprophiliac. That's really good. Really good stuff. So Masha Tazo, always loved that band. And where are we? Here we go. Nausea. And this is the LA Nausea. This is really good stuff. And who was it? I forget. The dude from Terrorizer. One of the dudes from Terrorizer. This was his band. And then Phobia. And this might be a controversial take, but this is probably my favorite Phobia album. Let me bring myself up here.
That Remnants of Filth?
Remnants of Filth. I love this album. Really good production. It's a lot. It doesn't really get kind of punk like most of their stuff does. I think this one is kind of just more straightforward grindcore. Really good sound. Scott Hull produced this album. And so I've always really liked this Phobia a lot. Where else are we here? Here we go. Catheter. Catheter.
What a
awesome,
name. What
awesome stuff. Definitely always really liked Catheter a lot. And okay, so here's one. This is a newer one. Human Corpse Abuse. This was on Self-Made God. I think that the dude in this band, they play in Althor or something like that. Adam Jarvis on drums and I think Adam Jarvis, doesn't he play in Pig Destroyer maybe? I can't remember. And then Shelby Lermo, guitars and vocals. But it's they do grind really well on this album. So that's a good one.
Yeah, Adam Jarvis is the Pig Destroyer drummer currently.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And kind of going back to some classic Relapse. Exit 13.
So there's that weed grind you were talking about.
Stoner grind.
Stoner grind shit.
But it's also kind of really kind of jazzy at times too. It's definitely some bizarre stuff. If I was stoned, I probably wouldn't be my first go-to. But classic stuff, especially from the early days of Relapse.
I found
Danny Liker.
For some reason there was tons of Exit 13 in all the used bins I used to peruse, but I always wanted to find Brutal Truth. But somehow I wound up with like only Kill Trend Suicide, and like I have all the Exit 13. Do I ever listen to Exit 13? Not really ever.
Yeah,
especially not the jazz album they did.
Yeah, I have for Exit 13. I also have this one that they did a few more hits, and then I have another CD that's like I think a 2-disc set that's like everything that they recorded.
I did feel like Exit 13 leaned a little bit too hard into the stoner like aspect of it, like where it's like almost not serious enough. So I'm kind of with you, Ben.
It's a little silly at times.
It's like, what if we played off being bad on being stoned?
Boom! Let's make a band.
It's like you're not Mr. Bungle. You're not the Mr. Bungle of grind,
right? Okay, so here in the chat you mentioned Danak. Man, I have. Oh, dude, nice.
Ben, are these the rest of your picks right here?
my honorable mentions that I don't have physicals of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still have a
Danak.
couple right here.
It's hard to get anything by Danak. It's all 7 inches that are insanely expensive.
1 sec. Is this a whole band here? Scenes from the complete annihilation of this planet multiplex.
That's so my mind's mine is the band,
Oh, okay.
and then
Okay.
Multiplex is a Japanese band.
Okay. I'm combining shit.
Warsaw are an Aussie band that have a ton of 7 inches and demos.
Yeah.
So just get the discography. Not all of it's great, but some of it really is great.
Yeah,
before Trap Them were called Trap Them. They were called Trap Them and Kill Them. And they have
No
a demo that I have shared on my YouTube channel, and it's rare as hell. Like nobody's ever heard of this thing apparently, but that demo absolutely rips.
Dude, I really enjoy Trap Them. So this is their initial band, is Trap Them and Kill Them. All right, I'm gonna check that out later.
Okay.
And then somebody, Devin in the chat was talking about Regurgitate. Yes. Hate-Filled Vengeance.
Yeah.
This is just an EP, but this is my favorite material from them. It's kind of rapey, but it's pretty boss.
Yeah. Nice.
A lot of people, I think, glommed onto them when Carnivorous Erection came out. It's fine.
Yes, that's that band, yeah.
And then Deviant was like okay, and then like Sickening Bliss was pretty good, but the early stuff is pretty good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that Warsaw. I have back in my blast as fuck buying spree. I got that. There was a 2 CD discography of Warsaw stuff. I bought that. It's one of those things that I think just over the years it's disappeared somehow. I couldn't find it anywhere. But okay, cool. What I was talking before about when we were talking about Rot, this is the newest album by Rot, Organic, and this was put out on To Live a Lie. This is really good, like really good grind album. I forgot in the chat. I think Eric said that they were from
They're from Brazil.
Brazil. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I couldn't remember where they were from.
All right.
What else?
How much time do we got left? When you gotta go, Ben?
Like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah,
How many more pulls do you got to show off?
1, 2, 2 7 inches and a 12-inch.
Hey.
Okay, we can
Ben go.
Yeah.
I imagine you probably have some Dahmer pulled, so I might let you take over on the Dahmer.
I don't have any Dahmer.
Nope, that's all you.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even go through my 7 inches. I
have their discography on CD. I didn't pull it because I was like, he's gotta have this for sure. I don't know, really fast grind. It's stupid and perfect. Canadian grindcore.
I have Mortville put out a Dahmer collection, I think, of all like 7 inches and stuff. I have that CD over there, but my Dahmer vinyl, I didn't even go through my 7 inches tonight.
Oh yeah, no. Luckily with grind, I think a lot of people will like wait until a band has a dozen 7 inches out and then put out a compilation, you know. So you have these kind of benchmarks. And like I'm not a 7-inch guy. I've got maybe like I don't know, 150 or so. I would rather have only 25 of them or so. Yeah, they're kind of a pain in the ass, especially with grind.
They are.
Yeah. I'm not a 7-inch guy either. I much more prefer just the compilation CD of that stuff. Okay, cool.
I do have one here. It's Black Ops. I know this is kind of like scraping the bottom of the barrel, but I really, really dig this stuff. If you're into Retaliation from Sweden, anybody into this one? Okay. I don't know. It's great. It's got the drummer from Dawn's Slaughter Son. Morth plays in this band. Anyways, this is really, really great. Maybe the best Swedish grind I've ever heard. But the same guys play in Black Ops, basically. And it's a split with Lang Che, which is a French band I've never really gotten into.
Yeah.
So just kind of a twofer there. And this is the only thing Black Ops ever did. Pain is weakness, leaving the booty. If I make a mix of grind stuff, I would put Suicide Angels from Retaliation on it every time. It's the perfect grind song. It's got a little bit of a kind of a crusty, hefty sort of swagger to it. But guns don't kill people. Retaliation kill people.
Oh man. All right, cool. All right, so is that everything that you have?
I got two more, but go ahead.
Okay, cool. I am going to show something that what about early cattle decapitation?
You know,
Oh, there is some cattle decapitation tonight. This is
I
a surprise, actually.
You know, I only like the early cattle decap when they were still partially the locust. Yeah, Homovore, Human Jerky, and then really the third cattle decapitation is my favorite. I think the third one is awesome. But this, you can't deny this is really good, like gore grind. This is one of the, I think they just re-released this one. They repressed it. This is the original on 31G. But I think cattle decapitation at this time, I think it was like 2 members of the Locust were in the band at the time. But this is good gore grind, definitely. Which now that reminds me of something else that I didn't pull. But let me put that in here.
Let's do a part 2 in March of next year.
What's that?
Let's do a part 2 in March of next year or something.
I know, right? Like there's too much grind to show. So what are you drinking there, Logan?
I shouldn't be. It's a Sunday night, but we're drinking a black lager from Shiner, one of the Texas bigger brewery.
I was
at least it's light. So
I was at the grocery
store
store
tomorrow,
and they had a Pig Destroyer beer there. And it
had,
the typical album art that you would expect. Well, not naked women. No naked women on the beer can. But I almost bought it, but then I saw that the beer was like 10%. I'm like, oh, I can't drink stuff like that.
Three Floyds, right? Because they collaborate with Pig Destroyer.
Yeah, it's 3 Floyds.
A couple times.
I don't even know what the ABV on this Hammerheart is, but usually they're like 6 or 8 or something.
What is that Hammerheart? Is that a stout or a
mesquite smoked porter brewed with spruce tips, 6% by volume. A rich smoked porter brewed with spruce tips in honor of the North Woods. Original artwork, but it's basically a Panopticon beer.
I love it. Dude, smoked beer is some of my favorite, actually. I love smoked porters, smoked lagers. They're
I wish they still had a tap room. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so I showed the cattle decap. Here's another one going back to bands from Australia. Internal Rot.
I knew you were going to show that one. I was just waiting for it.
Grieving Birth. This is really good stuff too. I like their first one that has what's her name? Hounds of Love on the cover. Kate Bush. Yeah, the first Internal Rot has Kate Bush on the cover. This one, I guess she's like a UK actress or something like that. But this is really good. Just straightforward, blasty, scrawly grindcore. Of course, it's blast as fuck. God, what a label. What an absolute amazing label. It put out so much good shit. Yeah, Internal Rot was really good. Have you ever seen that YouTube show called What Are You Listening To? It's he live streams on Friday nights, like the same time that Marty and Alan are live streaming. But he's some dude in the UK, and then he'll have like 4 other guys who are guys or ladies who are playing bands or whatever, and then they'll just do what we're doing right now. But he has like this LP sitting back on the shelf, somewhere. But yeah, this is really good shit.
Yeah.
All right, so that's, and then okay, so here's something fun. Here's fun.
Grind is often fun. It's silly.
This is okay. So Eric was asking about insect warfare. Here we go.
See, there it is. Now,
Yeah,
happy at least.
I also have a box set that came out like 5 years ago or so, which is all of like the 7 inches and all of that type of stuff. This is Napalm Death Peel Sessions. And when I found this, I got this thing sealed, and I paid like $5 for it at the time. It still has the Tower Records sticker on it, but yeah, this is Napalm Death, and I collect Peel Sessions whenever I can find them.
That's like my favorite Napalm Death.
Oh, yeah, this is awesome stuff. This is Lee Dorian, Napalm Death Peel Sessions. And then, what else do we have here? Ulcer.
I haven't thought about them in a long time.
Yeah, this one. And then, here's one too that with me, it just goes without saying. Hell Nation. Love Hell Nation. I did a very emotional video when Al died, like about a year or so ago. I have a video on my channel as a tribute to Al.
I always thought of them as power violence, but I think it's splitting ears.
Yeah, my understanding is that Al thought of them as a grind band. But yeah, they could. The lines are kind of blurred.
What were the vocals on that? Was it more like shouted, or was there like a harshness?
Screamy vocals.
Screamy.
Some of it really screaming, but also doing drums at the same time too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Here's another cool one. The Locust Peel Sessions. Really good stuff.
I did not know they had a Peel session.
Yeah. This was recorded in 2001. So yeah, and let me see if I have anything else left to show. I pulled too much shit to show tonight. And okay.
Yeah, speaking of the Locust, I've never gotten into them, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you probably had to
alley,
be there. They're not amazing or anything.
They always
like
were
what they
just
did.
the pretentious band,
Sure.
from that era.
Okay, so these were ones that I got recently. I got them cheap too, at $8 a piece. Noisier. I just picked these up. And man, these things were a steal. Awesome stuff. I mean, a band that cites Discordance Axis as an influence.
Chris, is there a shop in Chicago that isn't Reckless that you find good stuff at all the time?
Yeah, Rolling Stone.
Okay, I know that place. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I was surprised. They had a really good selection of stuff.
All right.
Meteor Gem is good. But like around here,
I was there a couple months ago and I found like one thing I wanted.
Yeah, I mean everything is priced according to Discogs, so you're not going to find like a steal. If you do find something awesome, it's going to be priced accordingly.
Yeah,
unfortunately. But okay. So then here's one that I wanted to show too. This is going back to Brian Fajardo or whatever, PLF, Pretty Little Flower. dude is just a sick fucking drummer. And so this is everything that they've put out on CD. So it's all of the albums, and then they did a split with Last Days of Humanity, and then I guess they changed their name from Pretty Little Flower to Pulverizing Lethal Force or something, or I don't know. But this one took me forever to find this. Blast as Fuck put this out, and this must have been on my like watch list for like 5 years before a copy just popped up on Discogs. But yeah, PLF have always been another like really awesome grind band that I've really liked a lot.
A lot of stuff.
And you know what? I think that's about everything that I have.
Whoa.
I mean, I have more to show, but I also need to poop, and and I don't want to hold it in much longer.
Oh, man. Doing it on stream would be very grind of you.
How about I wrap mine up and then I'm out.
Okay.
Ulceria Line and Row. More
Ooh.
sloppy Sunday kind of grind. It's kind of political, but almost as fast as Discord and Saxis, but maybe about as sloppy and kind of messy as like a Warsaw kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of typical, but I think it's creme de la creme. And that was out on, I think this is just actually a full length. It's not a discography CD. Rescued from Life Records. I don't really know. I'm out of Texas. And then last but not least, this is a recent reissue. This is a test pressing, so it doesn't look so cool, but the band is called Vehement Thrower, like bolt thrower, but vehement. And it's called I Come in Peace. It's a color painting by Michael Wayland. It's a great cover, but you would never pick this up and guess that it was a grind release. But it totally is, and it slaps. Think like Terrorizer, but they were from Poland. Lots of really dumb samples, but holy shit, it fucking rules. I don't know. It's really silly and fun and kind of punky in a lot of ways. And God, it's worked its way into my heart a lot. A lot of it has to do with having a really stupid name. Gotta admit. But Nuclear War Now did a reissue of it on CD and LP a couple of years ago, and this is on sale for like $14 the other day, so I had to get it. Yeah.
The test press was?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nuclear War Now will have test pressings for really cheap sometimes. And as far as this is maybe the best recent grind discovery I've made in a really long time. Yeah, Rick knows what's up. It was making some noise back when it came out. But I think it kind of fell on the ears of a lot of death metal heads that were, privy to what Nuclear War Now would be reissuing. But it really deserves a spot in the pantheon of Eastern European grind stuff. It's not silly. They're really skilled. They wrote great songs. It's one of those things you're going to be tapping your steering wheel to pretty hard.
Nice.
And that is my pile. And I put my honorable mentions in the chat.
Nice. Logan, you have anything left to show?
If we're doing a part 2, I can save it till then.
Yeah. We'll do more grind chat. We'll do another grind chat.
I guess I do want to say that grindcore to me has always been like the ugly, stepchild for the current metal VCLT. Like people don't talk about grindcore enough, or grind enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So this was fun. This was appreciated. Cheers.
Great, awesome.
Yeah, thanks for hosting, Chris.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you guys coming on, and I agree, Logan. There's definitely not enough grind chat in the YouTube space, but we'll chat again. Anyways, everyone who's was watching, appreciate you guys showing up, and we'll talk again soon. Have a good one.
Cheers, y'all.
Peace.
Bye, Rick.